Welcome back everyone, Craig Osborne. This is the first of 3 videos talking about mattresses themselves. Now I've split it into 3 because the topic is huge. If you've ever tried buying a bed yourself, you realize how much choice there is and how difficult it is to sort of separate all that information and know what it is to look for. So my goal is through all of these videos is to give you the information so you can ask the right questions when you buy a bed. Because of all the things that we buy in our lives, we spend a lot of money on a house, we spend a lot of money on a car, and a bed is one of our next most expensive purchases, or possibly should be, because it's so important for our health. So today's video is all about mattress foams, latex, memory foam, and that kind of thing. The second video next time we'll be talking about springs and what to look for with the pocket spring type mattresses and everything that goes into them. And the third video of the series will be looking at all the other bits and pieces that don't mix in with that. So looking at waterbeds, futons and similar. The other thing is I have a few samples here for today's talk, but I need to split this into 3 as well because each of these topics has quite a lot of information to it. So that you don't have to watch the whole way through, which I would suggest you do anyway, here's the breakdown of when you'll catch everything. Firstly, I'm going to talk about latex rubber, secondly about memory foam, and thirdly about basic foams, which you'll find in cheaper mattresses. Some mattresses have all of these 3 products in them, but it's interesting to know what they all mean and what that means for you when you're buying a mattress with this stuff in it. So we're going to start with my favorite product. It's what I use myself, and that's latex rubber. The reason I want to talk about latex rubber first is it's a product that I have in my own bed. I've had it for many, many years and I've just found it far more comfortable than anything else I've had to sleep on. The thing about latex is it's a natural product, it's ecologically renewable, and unlike the other products we're going to talk about in this video today, is it's not based on a petroleum product. The nice thing about latex is that because it's natural and it's rubber, it doesn't absorb sweat, water. It allows your bed to be far more healthy for that reason, and also prevents the buildup of dust mites, which makes a big difference to your health when you are sleeping. The thing to bear in mind with all the things I'm going to talk about today is what happens when you put weight on latex. And latex has a degree of pushback, if you will. It doesn't just compress and stay that way, and that's what gives you the support that you're looking for. When you lie on a hard mattress or a hard floor, you're going to always have pressure points. So for example, you're lying on your back, showing this photo here, then you're going to have the back of your head, your shoulders, your bum and your legs and your feet. Each of those pressure points are going to be compressing capillaries, and that pressure will cause your body to roll over frequently during the night. When you lie on something like latex, what that does is it separates all those pressure points out and blends it out more. A lot of people say it feels soft because of that. It's not, it's more supportive because you're not feeling individual pressure points anymore. And for that reason, you can get a far, far more comfortable sleep. However, because it's contoured to your body, that also means it can be a lot warmer. So that can be a problem. However, if your bedroom is the right temperature, which I've already talked about, then you should be able to find a nice balance between all of those things. Now the thing is latex. You'll see ads for really cheap mattresses and you'll see really expensive ones, and they'll all say 100% latex, but what does that mean? It could be that the latex in it is actually 100%, however it's the proportion of latex that you need to pay attention to. Best on the market are going to be offering up to 97% latex in the product itself, and you need a small amount of what's called vulcanizing agents. Now the vulcanizing agent is basically glues to hold it all together. It's essentially poured in and then it sets in the form. Now that means that if you're looking at a cheap mattress, it's going to also not weigh as much, because like all the foams I'm going to talk about today, there are different levels of density and therefore support. The soft ones are going to come in at around 65 kilograms per cubic meter of latex, and the heavy and therefore more solid form is going to be around 85 kilograms. So a really good quality mattress for a heavy person is going to be really heavy. And if you go to some of the markets where they're selling cheap latex mattresses, you're going to be able to tell by the weight of them that they're just not of that kind of density. So that's probably the most important thing to pay attention to. The heavier you are, the higher the weight or grade of latex you need to get. For most people, I think sort of medium is about right. You run the risk of it when it's too soft that you're just going to sink too much and you're going to lose that support. One nice thing I found with having a latex mattress, and my mattress is about 25-30 centimeters thick. It's crazy, I can barely move it by myself. But what it means is I can sleep right to the very edge of the mattress and still be supported. There's no drop off because of the quality. So I really do suggest you consider that if you're looking into a new mattress. And if you have a choice between latex and other products, if it's in your budget, it's a good idea to put this into your mattress. One last thing about latex. There are different forms of brands, if you like. The most common brand is going to be Dunlop, but you'll also see a new one called Talalay. Now, essentially, ecologically, they're the same product. The difference is that the Talalay product has 2 extra steps in the production process where they, under pressure, insert air bubbles into it, freeze it, and then bake it to create the mold of the mattress that you're sleeping on. The benefit of that is that the general spread of the air bubbles within the product itself makes it feel somewhat softer. However, in the same way that you can have different densities of Dunlop latex, you can also have different densities of Talalay latex. And if there is some kind of combination of that in the mattress, they are both good products, and then both of them are not using petrochemical products to create that. So yeah, it's much better for the environment. Up next is memory foam, or viscoelastic. You've definitely heard of this. They created it for NASA, for the space stations and so on. And you'll recall it from the idea that when you press into it, it often leaves your shape there, the memory of it. So the visco implies that when you warm it up through body heat, it changes its structure and becomes softer. And the elastic part of the viscoelastic is that it responds and returns to its normal positioning. Now, the thing about this, it is a plastic, and you have to decide if that's an ecological decision for you. However, it does provide many good benefits if you include it in your mattress. The main thing is the way in which it supports your body in very much the same way that latex does. And what it does is it tends to just spread out those pressure points. When I sold mattresses in my Sydney practice, the recommendation that we had that if you're going to include memory foam in your mattress, it shouldn't be more than about 5 centimeters thick. One of the reasons for that, and it's a difference to latex, which pushes back against you when you compress it, that when you compress memory foam, basically it keeps on going. So if you have 10-20 centimeters of memory foam, it really just allows you to sink and doesn't give you that support. So underneath a layer of softness, so that would be great if you're a side sleeper or shoulder problems. Softness is also an important feature when you're getting older, because often your circulation is not so good. Or if you've got diabetic circulatory problems, then having layers of this has some good sense to it. The thing is, it can be quite hot. There are, of course, different types of structures in the same way that there is for latex. So as I just mentioned, the Talalay latex, because of the way they blow bubbles into the structure, it helps take heat away from your body when you sleep. With memory foam, there are also 3 types. So we're talking here just about the traditional sort. There also is an open cell memory foam, which in the same way helps dissipate the heat. And there's also a gel infused memory foam. So they pump different gels into it, and that has 2 different functions. One of it can kind of save your heat, so to say, and the other one can respond to changes in temperature during the evening and actually release heat to keep you warm. I think that's something you probably definitely need to try, because when you're too hot, it just is really difficult to sleep well. Memory foam, like latex, has a great benefit that it's hypoallergenic. It helps prevent dust mites collecting, and just generally in that regard is much healthier. However, memory foam is not waterproof, which means that it basically is going to function like the other foams. You know, the softer foams of this is what you use in your kitchen as a sponge. It absorbs water, and each one of us, it doesn't matter who you are, sweats at least 1 to 2 liters a night. and that's got to go somewhere. So what I don't think you want is a product that is going to hold that moisture in the bed, especially if the quality of the product doesn't allow it to be taken away and evaporated. So really important feature when you're considering, do I want to have memory foam as a support structure, or would it be more sensible but possibly more costly to have latex? Virtually every mattress on the market is going to have some form of normal foam in it. There are also mattresses on the market that are only this type of foam. So it's really important to appreciate what to look for and what the differences are. Now we're talking about polyether foam. That means they're a plastic. It means they're made with oil-based products, and you need to consider that if you're environmental in some of your decision making. Now the thing is, there's also a density issue with these foams. Here I have two examples. I'm going to illustrate the difference between them, and it's a little bit like with the latex in that they're graded in terms of weight. In this case, they go from around 30 to up to 50 kilograms per cubic meter. 30 is obviously softer, or in this case it's more medium, and then 50 is quite the hard stuff, which would be pretty uncomfortable to sleep on. The same thing applies with all the three products I've talked about in this video. The firmer they are, yes, they're going to be long lasting. However, they're going to have that issue that they're going to create pressure points, and those pressure points restrict blood flow through the capillaries, and that's going to be not good for your sleep quality. So when we talk about these foams, and there's a reason for the line to be drawn on them here, is that when we compress this here, let's say with my body weight, you'll see how this line starts to compress only at the very top, and I need to put a lot more pressure through before deeper layers of the foam start to compress, and you see disruption to that line. And so this is at the lower end of density, and when you have a mattress with this in it, it means that when you lie on it, the top part is going to compress first, and only that part is going to wear out. So the foam means it's got air bubbles within it. That's what's providing support. It's the same principle as what goes into the soles of running shoes. And so when those air bubbles start to cause, well, it starts to break down, then you're going to then start to press into the next layer, and so on and so on. Now the problem with that is of course, you're going to hollow out. And that is the issue when you have the cheaper foams. They're just not going to last as long. And they're also going to get really bad for your posture, because you're going to be sinking down into that sort of hollow. So as I said, this is the cheaper end of the scale, and the cool thing is they tend to be color coded. So when you see this green foam, usually it's all the same type. Fortunately, they don't just pick a color from the rainbow and go with it. And so if we get onto this product, which is at the higher end of the density scale, and you'll notice here when I press here, almost instantly there is a deforming of that line well into the middle of the foam. So this type of product, when I sleep on it, you can see how it's going to be far more supportive, because the entire mattress is giving me the support, or not just the top couple of centimeters. It's going to last a lot longer, and it's going to be far more comfortable. And my point of looking into all of these products and stuff is that, and I see this on one of the very first videos, one of the very first things I believe you should do when you're looking to buy a new mattress is to consider your budget. And it seems a weird place to start, but when you appreciate the different type of products that go into the mattresses and how they are going to hold their quality and therefore maintain your sleep quality, it's really important to consider how important is your sleep to you. And that's why video 2 was all about what does sleep do. The more money you put into a mattress, generally the higher quality the products will be that go into it, the longer they're going to last, and the better the quality they're going to last. As I mentioned, my latex mattress is going really strong many, many years later, well longer, I suspect, than what's originally designed for. So that's the issues with all the different foams. There are different types of foams in basically every mattress on the market. You're going to find them in springs, in basic mattresses themselves, and that's why when you go now to a store and you see these different foams, you're going to have an idea about what to ask and what to look out for, and hopefully spend your money wisely. I hope that's been interesting. We'll see you in the next video. That's going to be talking about spring units and what to look out for with all of those on the market. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.